Hello YouTube, and welcome to my first video that happens to be a tour of the first house I've ever decorated in Elder Scrolls Online for the first character that I have ever created in Elder Scrolls Online, my Nightblight Danger. This house is supposed to be her primary house that she lives in, and because this was early into when the housing was released, the decorations are a little bit mishmash and weird, and at the time I tried to give myself a challenge of only decorating with either things I crafted, things I got from achievements, or things that came with the house, essentially avoiding Crown Store purchases completely. Since then, I relaxed my stance a little bit, but this house is essentially, other than a couple of minor changes that I've added a few things, I replaced a few things that were completely out of place. About 90% of it is exactly as it looked when I first decorated it months and months ago. And without further ado, welcome to my tour. So we're looking at the gate right now. We have some plants here, some vines, and we have lights. They're braziers that are supposed to remind her a little bit of her heritage. The reason why she has this house is because she feels some connection to Bosmer heritage, but not enough of it to actually live in a Bosmer house. So this was a compromise. This house is in Malabal Tor, but it is a proper stone house where she could have all kinds of comforts, and it was the best of both worlds. But some things are still Bosmer. So she has these lights. So to the left we have a little path going past the landscaping towards the well. Oh, and by the way, there's a little lizard that hangs out next to the flowers because bugs live there and he likes bugs. We have a little cherry tree, and we have a well where she gets her water for the house. And because she is an assassin and a thief, we have a little flag hiding in there behind the well, kind of out of the way, but she wanted to show a little bit of her allegiance. So back down the path, past the little lizard. To the right, we have more landscaping, more flowers. We have her old mount that she no longer rides, so the kitty gets to stay here and just eat the wildlife that she catches right outside the gates. And here at the end of the path, we have her firewood. It's under the tarp so that it stays dry. We have a little lantern here that is supposed to move but does not move anymore, and hopefully they fix it. And we have our merchant who hangs out here because she basically comes in and cuts the wood for her. So back towards the house, and we are going to go into the house now and see how Danger lives. And yeah, I try to keep some light here so that she doesn't get well, she's not gonna get lost in the dark, but I wanted her to have some light for if she needs to go outside at night. So as we enter the house, we have some candlesticks and some flowers in the hallway with a little carpet to wipe our feet off and not track the dirt in. So we're gonna wipe the feet now. And there's some curtains up here, one of the new things I added because I wanted something in that hallway that looks really, just gives it a little bit of extra, sort of delineates that hallway. And we have a lantern hanging here because it's red, and because I needed to hang something from that hook up there. If you can see, it looked really odd just sitting there with nothing on it, so we have a lantern. Here's her wardrobe where she keeps a lot of her clothes, mostly armors, things that she needs as she's going on her adventures. Right next to it is a little shelf with some books, some art, we have a few banners hanging over the fireplace, some firewood for the fireplace so that she doesn't have to go out all the time. We kind of replenish this little stock here from the outside. And this character is actually friends with my sorcerer, and they live nearby. Sorcerer has a house down the road in the trade post. So she comes visit, and they hang out by the fire and chat and have some wine and some fruit. We have a puppy hanging out by the fire because puppies actually, believe it or not, love the fire. My own dog, just whenever we start the fireplace, she lives in front of it. She has her own pillow in front of it, and I basically kind of replicated that way. Gave the puppy a little bed in front of the fire so that she can hang out. And because she's a good girl, she's allowed to stay there all the time because she doesn't eat the food that we're cooking here on the fireplace. We have a little bit more storage where she keeps her weapons, incidentals, some coins, some spending money, some flowers because flowers are nice, and more storage. And here down the way is, we see a little art, there's some more flowers, and here's the kitchen. Here's the storage where she has some of her supplies, cups, bowls, a little cook pot up there, and a frying pan, food. And we are currently working on a fish stew, and this book right there is actually a cookbook of Bosmer recipes, and she's trying to keep to her heritage and cook the food of her people, which does not exactly work out too well because she just adds veggies to it. And here we have a shower, if you will. There's a bathtub, there's a bucket. We can wash here, and she can sit here on this chair to change out of the clothes. There's some laundry drying and a light so that she can see what she's doing. It's both a bathtub and laundry, and it's blocked away from the rest of the house with a little divider, the Bosmer divider. Again, another nod to her heritage. Gotta have something. And up the ramp, we have a bookcase with a lot of the Mage Guild books that she gathered, and she does like books, so she collects a few of them on her travels. She's some paper here, has supplies, and here is her bag, her bed, her book bag, her storage locker. The very personal things is what she keeps in here. And over here we have her work table, and another nod to her affiliation with Dark Brotherhood, the candle on the skull, poison making supplies, and a contract. This was the first contract that she has ever signed. So that is my Danger's home. This is her primary home. She has another home and a couple of shared houses that they have, but this is the home she lives in most of the time. And I'm actually pretty proud of it because at the time when I crafted it, I had so few options, so it was a challenge to figure out how to do this, how to make the loft, how to get the artworks were kind of expensive, and I wanted to craft as much as possible, and supplies were hard to find, so I am really proud with how it turned out. And thank you so much for watching and listening, in case I am not talking to just myself, and hopefully you'll come back for more house tours because I have a lot of them. I have a bit of a housing trouble. I love decorating, so I have a lot of houses that I'm working on. Again, thank you and goodbye.